Hello. Um, Hope everybody's very well. I'll put the comments on the screen so I can see them here, and then hopefully all works fine. Here I am in my studio again. Uh, Hopefully the setup works and you can hear me. If you could, whether you are watching on YouTube or on Facebook, if you can let me know that you can hear me okay. There might be some noises. The kitties are a little bit naughty, so that could be the case. Hi, Karen. Karen, of course, came to the retreat, which I enjoyed so much. I hope you, Karen, you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was one of those retreats that. Um, the Lisa Horson retreat, the 2025. It was so brilliant, and I'll tell you a little backstory. Jean, hello. If you can let me know if you can hear me all right. Yes, Karen, fantastic. Thank you so much. So I wanted to say something about the retreat. So thank you so much, Becca, who is joining us as well from the design team. Another attendee for the retreat. I see Lorraine, Carol joining us. Thank you so much. I appreciate every time that you tune in. And of course, Becca is watching through YouTube. I know Karen as well. I can see where the comments come from, which I think is amazing. This software, when it works, is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me and see me. That's brilliant. So I'll let you know into a little secret. Well, no, it's not a secret. So retreats, I've been very lucky to be asked to be part of them since, I don't know, I think it was 2007, um, or even before that. I have done a few, not that many, but I have done a few, and they are always really hard work. And I look back and I remember, and when I look back to the ones that I have been to, some of them really, really good, some of them not so good, but coming back to them, the Lisa Horton is in another galaxy. Uh, I think everybody will agree that Eastbourne being front line of by the sea is just, even if you're not a seaside person, which I am actually not a seaside person, but I love going there. It feels like a holiday. So I would never go on a holiday to a seaside because I grew up in Mallorca, but having to go to work there, it just feels like, oh, I get the best of both worlds, if it makes any sense. So I absolutely adore it. And the room is just brilliant where the classes are done. There are some things that we can improve on, and of course we will take that on board, and we'll see what we can do next year to make it slightly adjustments of where to put the teas and coffees so everybody can reach to them a bit easier. But everything, I think it was just phenomenal, the way that, like, the cookies were, I mean, I'm not a cookie person again, and I just love them. So it's really, really and from a point of view, oh, Patricia, yeah, Patricia, of course, she came as well. She it was brilliant, and I actually felt, even though I was there working, that it was just such a good connection to you guys, because it's not it's it it's not the same. It's brilliant online on social media, it's brilliant, but when you have something that you can see and feel it, and I know a lot of people, I push all the bound the come out of the comfort zone to many people, creating a color wheel. But for me, the most important thing was that starting thinking about color in a slightly different way that traditionally you may have been thinking, even though the color wheel is a very traditional way of doing. But of course, it's the crafting side that we never think about that. uh, oh, Susan got an awful cold, but you had the best time. Yes. Thank you for all your work. Thank you so much for coming, Susan. Yes, I know Lisa and Lily had also got the cold. I didn't get the cold, but I did get a really extreme exhaustion last weekend, Friday, which made me think I may have got something there, but not the typical thing, and that's why I wasn't as it was more of a tiredness than anything else. It could be just that I'm not a very strong person, which I'm not physically, definitely psychologically. Especially now, I'm gonna go again, an age where those things affect a lot, the anxiety and things like that, the hormones and all those changes. So that, right. I'm just gonna go ahead. This was a little chatty, and I know 6 minutes. Oh, I talk too much. But now that we are here, just wanted to very quickly explain the plan of action for today. First of all, I'm gonna put it on the screen that we have got, of course, a pick of the week, and I'm just gonna put it the QR code now there. I'm gonna put it on the other side because I kind of like it there. I don't know why I kind of just always put it there, so you can have it there. And the reason why I put it there is because when we are on overhead I can see it better there. So the pick of the week, so basically there are two different pick of the weeks, which is the Halloween ones and the original Swift inks that we have got available. So it's the three original colors, and of course we have got also part of the range now of the Swift dry inks. We do have as well the latest release, which are those ones. I keep my ink pads, of course you can see it here. I still haven't finished it. I die cut a few of them yesterday evening, so I need to just assemble them so to finish the wall of inks, and it works really well for me. So I'm not saying that it's for everybody, but I've got here pre-die cut elements, and then I have got the latest, the metallics and Swifts, and then I have got the matte blending, and then I have got the interference. That might change as the time goes by, but I have all 6 Swift dry inks here with the labels on, and I'm gonna go straight ahead and change the camera so you can see it. Hopefully that will work well. So you can see that I have got the labels here. Oh, this camera is not very sharp, is it? Something that is doing something. I don't know. I'll have to make sure that I clean it a bit. So this is the how I keep mine. You can. These ones are the sleeves. I haven't done the big box in here, the filing box, because the filing box then it gives it even more solidity. It adds a little bit more strength, and also it looks a little bit nicer. So I find it that is definitely a good thing if you have got that die to have them. Labels wise, I wanted to mention something. It has been mentioned on the group, and I have to say that of course Rebecca spotted it, and it was just too. It's one of those things that I'm always last minute. So is that one. That one should be Crimson Cheer, but I put a Christmas Cheer because that's my dyslexic brain reads something, but what goes into the brain is something else. So apologies for that. That's Crimson Cheer. I will change it on the file, but it's going to take a little bit of time to do that because unfortunately nothing is as easy as it sounds, and this is one of the things that I have found that editing is taking a long time. So when I make any changes on things, it's not like a Word document, it's a illustrated document. So it's just like a 3-4 step thing. So correcting anything is not easy, and I decided that because I do everything at last minute, it's a question of get it done rather than imaginary perfection. So let's do some crafting here. Is it better now? Is it? Yeah, I think it's all right. It's like it looks like a little bit shaded, but I hope you can see it well. I'm gonna check the chat, you guys. All good, Trisha. Right, so let me tell you, yeah, Lorraine, very, very true. Now, the pick of the week is this stamps on the Swift inks. Now, they are $4.99 for a photopolymer stamp. Well, I believe it is photopolymer because it's very photopolymer a stamp set. I think that is an absolute bargain. $4.95 for the polymer stands beautifully. And it's one of those ones that I would say you may not be a massive Halloween fan, but it is becoming one of those ones that is like, it's great to have it and take advantage of the bargain when it is, because I'm not, like I'm thinking, don't make that many Halloween projects. However, my nieces and nephews are more into it as the time go by. But also you have got elements like this beautiful branch you have got the beds and things like that that are not, you can make it into more masculine make as well if you wanted. And ultimately, for instance, this cat is definitely all year round. I mean, I love it. This one can be for Christmas as well. So again, it's one of those ones that is brilliant for everything. I'm gonna try to make it into a little box. So I have pre-die cut some elements, and we'll go through it as well. Now, something else I wanted to mention, because as part of, I put it a part of Ink School, because I like to take advantage of these Facebook Lives to revisit the downloads and different sections of them. Now, I wanted to mention, in case you missed the shows on Hobbycraft last week, is that I done a new download. Again, this one is one of those ones that it has got very lots of issues with it, the text, as Rebecca can attest to it. But again, I wanted to make sure that it got done, so therefore it's all there. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean it up, because I think this one is a bit, I'm not sure which one it is, the one that it's a bit, yeah, that's a bit better to me, it looks better. Oh, Julie, that's brilliant. Yeah, so, so basically what there are is talks about the color wheel a little bit more in depth. You can download this for free as well. So I'm going to change the QR code just for a second. If you want to download this one, you can download it right now for free on the website. Basically what it does is kind of talks to you about what is shades, what is stains, and also this in the screen will be fully color if you print it fully color as well. It's just that I don't have a laser color printer, and my big printer is very temperamental, so I couldn't print it. I also did one which I wanted to do, which is where you can put down which inks exactly have you used. So again, it helps you out, and then you have got the finished one, which is how it should look, so a reference guide as well, and you have got a few words of vocabulary, which is just, it's just so they are there. I wanted to just give you an idea of it. One of the things that I'm really happy about, or I wanted to make sure that I included here, was the complementaries, display complementaries and things like that. And this is a way, when you have got your color wheel done, right, then you can create these different ones. And I will do hopefully video soon, so we can actually just put it out there on social media and you can all see that. I also, yesterday, or was it yesterday or Sunday, I came up with the idea of putting magnets underneath it. So basically, for instance, the complementary is two opposing colors. So if you do like this, you can isolate exactly the two complementaries. By putting magnets, it means that I can just rotate it and it will stay perfectly in place. So this, I hope to do a tutorial. And then suddenly you see, oh, I like this color combination, or I don't. Something else that you can also do is a split complementary, so it's a slightly softer color combination. And again, you isolate those colors, right? So then suddenly, like for instance, I love this color combination, but one of my favorites, what is it? Is it this one? This has always been one of my favorite color combinations, and I never knew why I like so much pink and lime green and teal, and it turns out it's a split complementary, so hence why there is a harmony, because there is some warmth, some coolness as well. So again, that kind of helps, and you can make it out of white or out of black. Every time it has a slightly different look. And then something else that you can do as well, which is explained on the guide, is the analogous. So that means that you can isolate 3 different colors. So for instance, you're thinking, I'm not sure if I should go for yellow, a warm yellow and lime green, or should I use a little bit more of orange, depending on the occasion. You can just see, right, the slightly different, more warm, a little bit cooler. So that, again, those ones are something that we shows you how to do it, or basically explains how to do it and how it should look and how you should put it, and also warm colors, cool colors and things like that. And I hope that it's a free guide that you can download on the Ink School. And if you put this and then you get the color wheel die set as well, it's a really good idea. It's a really cool bundle there. Right, going back to the this is the ink school, and this one is the one that is the big download that you, this is not free because obviously this is, look at how many pages there is of charts, and this took me forever. There are errors and I do apologize, but there are some things that, you know, you just cannot, somebody who's dyslexic talking in another language and then writing in that other language is not the ideal, but at least it gets done, and I think you can all kind of figure it out. So now here I have got the testing card. Now this one is one of the few that we didn't record a preview or a kind of a little video when we did them. So this one I kind of, it's a good way, this video will be a good way to understand what they are. Some of you may know that I have done them in the past. So things very similar. So in the download you will get, and this one is the Ink School. This is the, you know, the guide, the full-on guide, which I think is $9.99. Some of you got it for free last time, like a flash sale that we had. And this one will come in with instructions on what to do. So what I'm going to do is I know how to use it, so I'm going to and explains also not only how to use it but what it means, everything. And yes, it is all a bit like a school with home, you know, almost like, you know, kind of almost like homework, but it's not homework, it's understanding why the things work the way they do. Now I like to use stamping positioning tools. It could be the one that I have got here, which is from the Ultimate. It could be whichever one you have at home and you feel comfortable. You can as well use the acrylic blocks if you prefer it. One of the reasons I love the stamping rotating tool from the Ultimate as well is that it really does help positioning and avoids dropping ink into the card because it has got like the sort of stoppers. You can also just use a little bit of low tack tape to secure it on the paper and be a little bit, you know, more secure. I'm not doing solid black, I'm doing actually Swift Dry. And again, it tells you exactly what ink you should be swatching here. And this is to understand what Swift Dry inks are for. Now, here it says that you want to have an ink pad, you know, a stamp that you can color in. You can use anything as well. Like for instance, I wouldn't use this one because obviously it's a lot solid, it's not in between. But this one, even though it's not a coloring ink, you can color in between the branches. That's all there is meant to be. Lauren, don't be sorry. It's great that you can join us as well. This one you can color inside it. But I'm just gonna go with the branch, which is a large stamp in here, and place it something like this, and then just pick it up. Okay, and then more or less I can hover and just see that. So I'm gonna go with licorice, which is one of the ones that is on offer. I'm gonna tell you exactly how much, because that is a really good pick of the week. That you have got a saving as well of, I think it's like something like £3. So I definitely would take advantage. It's all three of them. To ink, I always say kiss the stamp, don't snug it. Just dab it in, not make too much pressure. And then when you come to it, you just press down in the middle and just press that. Hello, Hannah. It was so lovely as well to meet you at the retreat. We were talking about it, how amazing that was. Right, now this is one of the reasons why lots of us love Swift Dry inks. It's because it, you know, rub immediately after stamping. I'm rubbing it and it already is dry. I'm gonna wait up 5 minutes to smudge that bit here. But basically what you should be doing is immediately after you stamp it, you put your finger in it and you drag it. And that's to see if it's an instant dry or a very, basically, and the name indicates Swift Dry, or it's something that takes a little bit longer. If it takes a little bit longer, it will smudge, which means that it will be wet enough when we want to apply something like, say, mica powders, but more importantly, embossing powders. So that's an important thing to always remember. And this says this then as a guide that if you want, and all that is explained on the guide. So again, it's really good ink to stamp on because immediately you have that straight away, that dry effect there. Now I'm going to open it up because of course you can cut them in half and then just put solid black and so on. But the reason is because I'm going to take my alcohol inks next. Alcohol and water based. Now I'm going to go in for this color combo, right? So this is a very old watercolor water based brush pen, right? So with bristles, and this is an alcohol marker. I have gone for two very generic ones, so it's not something I don't think neither of them are readily available at the minute. But this one is, I'm not joking. This one is 20 years old. Oh my goodness! Because I was working at a shop, Creative Pastimes. That was so that's definitely something that. And I remember the last year that I worked there, I was like full-time employee, which was 2020 2005. Yeah, 20 years ago. Hi, Pat. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much. Now, what I'm going to do with watercolor is go over it. And this is important because what we want to see is if it resists the color. And it definitely resists. I'm going to come here, bring it closely so you can see that there is no, like, we don't see black. We just see the pure watercolor. So again, that means that it's good. The swift dry are good for watercolor. So what I tend to do, I recommend to do, is literally make a mark and then put like this. So good for watercolor. And that means that if I want to stamp and watercolor, swift dry are a good option. And then I'm going to go with the alcohol marker. Now, one quick tip that I would say, of course, alcohol markers are very, 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 how can I say this, a dye that seeps in through the fibers, and the alcohol means that it penetrates so fast that it penetrates through the whole layers. It also evaporates very, very fast, which means that ideally you should have something absorbent, something like basically paper underneath it, rather than anything that is gonna more permanent. So for instance, this is my foam. I don't want to have more of this mark, so I'm going to put a paper, so if there is any seepage, that will grab it. And alcohol markers, so on the left hand side, and I'm going to go over it. Now I will say one thing that is kind of with the formulation of swift dries, I believe there is a tiny minuscule percentage of solvent component. Now that means it's not going to damage your stance because it's so small that it's insignificant. It doesn't even make it permanent onto glossy surfaces, and usually those ones, the solvent-based ones, are the ones that are permanent on glossy surfaces. So this is just a tiny bit that makes it permanent, so onto paper, so you can use watercolor. So this formulation is in a perfect formulation for quick dry, really quick and easy to stamp in, easily cleans, and you can use both alcohol and water-based. So again, I'm going to do a tag like this. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this is too much information, I don't really want to, remember that you will have a chart on the downloads that it will tell you. So swift dry ink, it will tell you that it's not good for embossing because it dries very quickly. It's perfect for stamping. It is permanent, so you cannot blend it, but it's for water markers and alcohol markers as well. So again, all this information in a different way is there. But I always find that if you can get your hands on something, if you can test it, then of course then you can then put it back into the little folder. And by the way, yes, about the folders and the sleeves, I bought them very inexpensive, well, this is probably 20 years as well, but the sleeves are from the Amazon, and you know what I mean. But yeah, so then I have got a quick exercise there as well. So to do this, Lorraine is asking about this. So to do the color charts and things like these ones is part of the Ink School. It's a $9.99 download. It took so many days to make. And so many days of that I have put in here is insane. So you can then print them out and do things. Then if you want to do the color wheel, it's also part of the Ink School, but it's a separate one, which is the one for free. If you click on the QR code here, right, everything is in there. So where the inks are, so if you go to the QR code, Lorraine, that's where it takes you directly to the, or if you go to the website, right, and if you go to shop, and then there is a drop down menu, and it will be Ink School there. So that would be the way I would do it as well, if you cannot access the QR code, because I know with the QR codes are very cool, but not everybody sometimes I'm watching with the phone, so it's like I cannot use it with it, so that's fine. Aloha, Cynthia. I hope you're very, very well. Now, we have got a question of Hannah about inks suitable for vellum and acetate. I would say for vellum, all right, and this is kind of thing, it's a trial. I would try with the Swift Dries or Solid Black. However, I have tried some acetate, some vellum, and most of it doesn't quite work that well with these inks. So I would say from the Cloud9 worlds, we don't have a specific inks. Well, we don't have inks that dry on acetate on, let me see, put it in the camera, or vellum. So there are inks that you can use. I would recommend on vellum, you can always use Swift Dry and then embossing powder over it. That can work. The opaque white can work as well. And the matte blending, again, you need to set it, you need to dry it. But we don't have anything. There are some in the market. If you look for inks specifically designed for vellum, there are one, Japanese one, and then there is another ones that are as well for acetate. The problem with those inks that dry on acetate is that they have to have a very high contact of alcohol or solvent. And there was this whole movement that believed that they were damaging the stamps. So there's still a lot of apprehension about buying them. Personally, I haven't had that issue, but I know that lots of people. So therefore, there is some manufacturers don't not, it's a little bit of an issue to develop them. I hope it makes sense. Oh, Lorraine, well, if you have an issue about that, you can, because it's a download, it doesn't have PMP, it shouldn't have any PMP, so you can always add another order if you wanted to do that as well. Right, I have been talking for a very long time, so let's start to do some crafting. That's a little bit of a card, so I'm just gonna take I pre-code this one to be an A2 size, so I do like an A2 size, so it's 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. It's like an A6, but a little bit shorter and a little bit fatter. Basically describes me very well, because I'm definitely very short and at the minute, not very, very thin. Let's put it that way. Now I want to create a mask, and one of the products I always think it's an unsung hero is the masking tape from Lisa Horton. It's really, really good. And one of the reasons I like it, and I have got lots of masking pages, pieces, whatever. This one comes in rolls, so you don't have to be worried about too much about being stingy. You're getting loads for it. But also it's paper, which means that it's better for the environment, isn't it? Because it's less plastic. But also because it's paper, you have got slightly more control of what if you want to stamp on it. It's very thin as well, so it doesn't give you too much of a ghosting as well. Right, so let me see which ones. So I wanted to cut a circle, so I'm gonna bring in my spot binders, my plastic green in here. See, this is one of the reasons I love it. It just takes so little space, and then I have got all the plates in there sitting flat. Now I do a lot of die cutting, and also we took this one to one of the craft collective events that we did. And by the way, we are doing another weekend. If you like online workshops, this one will be a, I don't know what is it, November or something like that. That's gonna be when it's gonna be happening. And of course, I'm gonna be using some fundamentals for the die cutting, but also I'm gonna be using some fundamentals for this card. I'm gonna take 2 dies, and this is I do everything. I prepare everything, but I don't have much space in this area, so you can see how I end up putting things on top of each other and not seeing what I have. Now I'm going to put 2 dies. Always recommend to put a little bit of low-tack tape to secure them to each other to the surface. It's not so much important about the plate, but it's very important that you secure them to each other so they don't run over each other. Oh, look at that. It's dancing. The camera is dancing there. There we go. So we have it like this. Okay. Well, of course, Claire, that's a very good point. It depends what you want to do on vellum. Of course, the inks will work into vellum. If it's more a question of whether you want to stamp and have a permanent image in there. So it's all questions that are very specific. Is like what will but also what you can always do is with inks is put them on embossing powder to set them, or slide what are they called, the see, I cannot think of the word. There are dusting powders that kind of sets it a bit, but it's something that you need to test it. Yeah, if it's blending, if it's something like that, that's very different, because it kind of it just works. Blending inks, if you stamp with them, it will be, again, it depends on what ink, one paper, so you have to test them. Basically, that's what I mean, because I have had success and not success depending on the vellum, and that is the key thing. Right, so I have got 2 sizes. I think I'm going to go with the larger one because I wanted more of. Now this circle has a stitch detail, and I hope that some of the ink is gonna come in. Now I just wanted to have it like so. Oh, but then I go on the branch. See, this is what I kind of go in. So that's going to go in. Oh, yeah, that would be perfect. So that will be there. So I'm going to put it this way. And now I'm going to go in with I'm going to place my ultimate with the tacky mat, because that will secure it to the base. So, yes, I'm dropping things to the floor. Right, so, and I do not want to have low-tack tape because otherwise the ink, it will leave a mark in there. Oh, should I? Oh, not see, now I kind of went in. Now what I'm going to do now is with the low-tack tape to be faster, but you could do this step as well, which is to frame it with the masking tape if you wanted to. So you could cut a very thin stripe, and to do that I would recommend to use the strips, not thin stripe, thin strip. You know the strips, the dice. Let me grab it and see if I can find it, because no, I won't find it in time, will it? It's one of my favorite dies that Lisa has done. But the strips dies, you know, the one that is kind of like lots of strip. So you could die cut the larger ones, and then, oh, I'll show you what I mean. The one that cuts these ones, right? So this one is the thinner one. You can have a wider one. So that would be a great way to do with the masking tape, and that will give you an even border all along. but if not, low tack tape, and then you can clean it up. So I have got this, so a little bit of a mask, and then I'm gonna go in with different colors. Now I'm gonna go in with blending in, so I'm gonna go for Hokusai Navy, and I'm gonna go in with inclement weather, cobblestones, like darker colors in here, right? And then once I have got the blend, then I can go in and then add some interference if I wanted to, and something like that. Oh, Lisa has joined us. Right, there we go. And then we're gonna put the inks in here because then that is a bit easier. Apologies for that. And then I'm gonna kind of go in with my soft pro blend brushes. I just love them. And for this technique, they are absolutely brilliant because every brush, and I have got such a selection of brushes here. I have got, you know, the Wonder brushes, which are very densely packed. They are shorter, and also they are dome. So when you wanted to have a more intense blend, these ones are a little bit faster. These ones are brilliant to work the ink in. So I'm gonna go in. And I always start on the inside of the area where you're not kind of adding color, and then just go in very, very softly. So that way it creates that sort of really soft element. If I remove this, you would be able to see a bit of the whiteness. So that's how soft it is, that you almost cannot see it until you reveal it there. So now I'm going to go in with another color. So I'm going to go in with the darker inclement weather. So I'm going to go in there, and again go outside, and you can just go in circular motions and blend those colors. You create a completely different color. And of course this is really dark, but one of the reasons I love the masking sheets from Lisa, a masking tape, actually it's not actually this tape, is the tape, this one, is the fact that because this is actually paper, then you can use that as well, so for another project. So that works really well. Again, blend it in, make sure that there is no ink left there. And if you want as well, again, there is next to no ink, but I am making sure that if there was, I am letting it all go into the card. There we go. And then Karen loves the Pro Blend brushes as well. Let me put because I really think that they are just phenomenal. Now I wanted to show you, this is cobblestones, and I'm going to show you Agnes Gray to show you the difference in between colors of gray. You can see it, how much lighter this one is. It's a really massive difference, but they make such a good blend as well. So again, I'm going to go in and blend it in there. And it doesn't matter if there is a little bit of a heavier deposit of this one coming in through, because again, you want to have color there. And now I'm going in softly there, creating like the kind of element there. And now when I remove this, you will see the stitch detail, which I think is just phenomenal, that you can see there. I'm going very gently because then this can then be reused, or you can put it something else, like into a card. So I'm going to put it here. So let me put the link to see if I have got the QR code to the. I don't. I'll put it. I'll put the QR code to the website, and then you can find the Pro Blend brushes there, Lisa. Sorry, not Lisa. Sue. So if you can do that, or let me see it. I can try to find it as well, because they are so. Let's see if I can find the Pro Blend brushes. because, sorry, I'm trying to do this so everybody can see the blend. I know that I am, oh, there we go. So I'll put the link exactly for these brushes there for you to see. I hope that that's okay, and then we can see it now. It's okay. Oh, it's a big one. That's a very big one, so I don't think that kind of works. Let me see if I can put the QR code so you can do that. Let me see. I'll put this one. So now if I put this one, the for, see, we try to do it live. And now so Sue, if you click on this QR code, it will take you directly to the brushes there. Now you can see how clean that is been. Now it's a choice of leaving the tape or keeping it in place when you're gonna stamp. See, I'm gonna be using this for another project because I think it works really, really well, right? Right, so then I'm gonna put the stamp. Now I'm gonna be using the smaller. No, I say that because it's always, you know, it's a bit quicker because I had it there. But to be honest, I have had so many mishaps with my stamping that I'm gonna just be very, very, you know, just maybe be safe, Paula. I have got a. It's not a baby wipe. It's just a clean paper. Well, a wet stamp cloth or something like this. Clean your stamps before you place them onto your card, and I'm gonna place it there, the branch, and then place it this. I know that they do have. Sorry, did I do it? There we go. There we go. They do have got the holes, but I don't necessarily use them, the peg system here. So I'm gonna go now with a swift dry, and that, of course, you can go for, you know, gray or coffee bean, whichever ones, the ones that are on offer as pick of the week. I'm gonna go for black because I wanted a bit more of that kind of color, the darkness, the contrast especially, right? So more or less there. And then press down. Make sure that you just go all over it. And there we have it. I just love this. I think that it works so well. Make sure that you clean your stamp. Remember, they are water-based on the 99.9%, but it's always good to clean them because otherwise, even if it's water-based, sometimes they can leave a little bit of a residue if you don't clean them. It won't damage, it's just there stain. But I think that looks really nice. Again, this doesn't need to be Halloween. This can be for all year round, right? So here you can go in with the sentiments, and then you're gonna put Happy Halloween here. Creep It Real, which I think is really funny. Pretty Wicked, Trick or Treat. I think that one is a really nice one in here. So I just realized that the whole plan that I had, and I spent some time preparing, I'm not going to have time to do it, but I'll show you what I meant in a second then. And then I'm gonna go in with Creep It Real there. I just think it just fits in perfectly here. Now here is where you can go in. I'm gonna go with an acrylic block just because I want more. Right, so basically, because I have got the camera over the top, I cannot position my head properly when I'm using it with the large acrylic block, so I can see it a bit slightly better for this. If I didn't have the camera video there, probably I would go for that. Now I'm gonna go for Flint. I wanted a slightly more subtle than the other one. So I'm just dabbing in again, just kissing the stamp, not snogging it. I'm pressing it down. Yeah, it's just, and you will see the difference in real life, not so much when you are like watching it from there, but it's definitely a slight, if I put it closely, can you see it, that it's slightly, it's just softer, it's just a tiny fraction softer, and it makes a difference. It's a little bit warmer as well. I actually don't think it needs that much. I'm a very, very, very clean and simple person. However, you have got something that I think, apologies for the sound, and I think it's not the nicest sound to have in there. I'm gonna go in, and this one I'm gonna go with licorice, which is the darker color. I'm gonna clean my finger because I just put it in, and sometimes that's one of the advantages of doing the proper acrylic block, the rotating tool. I'm gonna just put it there, just off the page. But that, to me, is a very simple masculine card that you could be using. For instance, instead of the Creepy Knit reel, imagine that you had a happy birthday thank you. Let me see if I have got a sentiment here. A birthday wishes, maybe. And that would work as well. Like, kind of, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to have everything to be scary Halloween. It could be somebody who likes movies, horror movies, and things like that, and you can use it. Now, if you want to reuse this tape, which I know many of you would be doing, just do like I do, put it on the side, give it a wipe, but you can see that clean edge there coming through. I love that. I love that it's really noticeable. Once that you remove it, the tape, there we and there we have really clean and simple card. But again, think about it, this could be for a card that and I love how those inks have blended super softly. You can see it here, how it's just an incredible blend for large surfaces with the problem brushes. And by the way, I say it's ink skull, but that's for the basically that's for the problem brushes. I'm going to put a pic of the wig because, of course, the stamps are the ones that are such a great deal. $4.99 for an A5 stamp set, and we are talking photopolymer stamp as well, so excellent quality here. Right, so what's the time like? Because that's the thing, isn't it? Right, so I have got about 10 minutes. So what I have done as well, so I wanted to create something like this that then I will just put it onto a card and it will be simple way, but also it could be die cut as a tag if you wanted to. Now I'm going to bring in the Paula Creates, the thrifty box, because what I have done here is die cut twice, and for this one I have die cut it like so. So I have used one of the windows, which I believe this one comes in with the thrifty elements boxes, but a square, and then the one that creates the little apertures so I can put a handle on, and then I have die cut the second one just with the base of the box. And what I'm doing here is just fold everything the same way except the outer ones, which are going to be inwards like this. And I have to say a massive thank you to Cheryl Penner, who has done a tutorial on that. Now I need to show you this because this makes me very happy, the same way that it makes me very happy that I can show you this. But so here, when you see it, all these ones are thrifty boxes with the sleeves. And what I have, it's all different elements that I have pre-die cut, including, for instance, the label holders for the actual thrifty box. So when it comes to it, I can go in, like I have done now, turn myself around, and there they are. And this is something that I do because I often die cut more than I need to, just in case I mess up, which happens all the time. And here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and position the label holder. To fold this one, what you need to do is I recommend to start folding like so, holding it, this delicate bit with your nail or finger like so, and then do the same like this. Now this is the tricky bit, but once that you do it once, it's much easier. Now that is the time when, again, I'm gonna go in and with my little drawers. You can pre-print them, and there are free downloads on the Facebook groups for these ones. Place it on the side, and then what you do is just fold it in, out, in, and out. In, out, in, out. Right? So you have got something that is like this. And then you take those bits in here, and when they are folded, so basically like so. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna check that. Oh, Jackie, you can catch her. Yeah, definitely. And I think Jackie is one of the ones who is coming to the weekend that we are doing with the Craft Collective. It's online workshops, so do check them out as well. And then place that, place it down, and there we go. Can you see how it goes through? Okay. Okay, so then you open these bits out. We fold them so they go through the aperture, and then we fold them up so they cannot come out. And then we put them like so. And then if you don't want to use glue, you cannot, you don't have to, but then you have to do another die cut. For this particular project, I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue here. See, I do this. I haven't cleaned, and every single time I do this, I don't clean my nozzle properly of my fine dispenser, and that happens, and then I just kind of go in like, oh, sorry, no glue flowing. There we go. But look at that. The high-tech glue, I cannot recommend it enough. I know I keep going on, but if you are like me, that you want something that die cuts really nicely, this is the one to do. What I'm doing here, basically, is creating a little box so we can put some sweeties in. For the cover here, the best way that you can do this one, sorry, I'm grabbing a larger scissors, is to cut it something like this inside the scoring line, and then like so. I'm going very heavy handed here, but that's okay. Okay, so that will work a slide right here. And what I'm going to do as well, and again, I'm using glue. You don't have to, but it's always slightly better if you are doing a box. I'm going to put glue only on the base one of them, because this is going to sit here. So there's going to be like a little pouch that it opens that way. So that is going to go like this. Oh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I can do this. There it is. Oh, thank you, Jackie, for that recommendation. For Jackie saying how she's done all the online workshops from the Craft Collective, and I always use Lisa Horton products because I think they are, for instance, the glue is one of the best bulk binding glues that there are available. So this kind of works like so. So what I want to do here is take some of the chocolates, or sweeties. Now, I wouldn't use my hands, but I'm going to tell you, these sweets are over probably 15 years old. they are not for human consumption, so I can use my hands at home. For this I would use gloves, or I would decant them. I would make sure this is actually a food safe bag, but always decant them into food safe bags, and always put little notices as well for the kids. It's like something like, oh, I'm not responsible, or put packed sweets. That's the best thing with labels, so you're not handling sweets. But that would work really well, doesn't it? So now there's a little kind of element in here that you can put. Now you can use, if you want it to be even more secured, you can put the sleeve. If you have got the sleeve from the inkpad collection, that will fit perfectly there. And then of course you can then do, which I'm gonna do if I have got time, sleeve mat. Yeah, see the sleeve mats. I have got the sleeve mats pre-cut. I'm telling you, they are brilliant when they are organized. They're nice. My heart sinks. But this is gonna go in here, right? So perfect. So what I'm gonna go in here, trick of treat, right? And then, oh, I don't know if it's, I have to use one of the cats, don't I? I have to use one of the cats. There we go. That's gonna be it. So what I'm gonna be using is, I'm gonna go in for Deep Verdure, which is one of the brand new ones. This one is not the one on offer, but it's one of the brand new ones, which I love in here. Now I'm gonna go first for the cat. I wonder if you know why I'm going first for the cat. Is because it's the largest of the stamps. I always think stamp and place the largest of the elements, and then go for the smaller ones. There's always a chance that if you do it that way, everything will fit perfectly. Pressing down. Look at that. I love that it fits there. And then the trick or treat, which we decided we're going to do it with the butcher. I wonder how you pronounce it. And now it's like I don't even can have voices in my ear that tell me exactly how to pronounce it. Again, dab it in if you prefer it. I think it's a better way to control that there is an even ink all over. But they're going to go in here. There we go. Are the cats banned? All right. So they are not. Sometimes they make their appearance, especially Kabuki, because she's just very much. But they are currently, I think Daniel is on a call, so he's like, I'll close the window, the door, so they cannot come in. I'm gonna go in with a. Sorry, I know that I'm over 1 minute before the end, but I kind of want to have a little bit of color coming through. I know it's a little bit too much green I put in there, but I don't mind a little bit. And then Matisse Aubergine. I'm sorry, I will always use Pick by Paula. Not always, but I know the color so well now that I kind of like to come in with them. So I am doing a bit of the typical colors of Halloween. So that purple, that green. And I should add a little bit of grapefruit as well. And you can see in here what I'm doing basically is stamping with, that works. I'm stamping with Swift ink, and then I'm adding the coloring with matte blending. I really like this, and this is gonna go here, a trick or treat, and then when you open it, you have got the sweets there. So, and also it's very quick and easy. You have seen it that it takes maybe 3 passes with the die cutting machine. It takes about an it will take 1.5 A4s in cards, so not much at all. But the great thing about having the stamps, the Halloween stamps, is that you can then do all sorts of really nice things for or every year after year. Here you can stamp or just leave it. Maybe you are doing personalized for a little party, and you can do it as well. And then of course they open up from the bag, and then you can have the sweets in there. And of course they can keep the box, and they can put a picture there as well, or put their treasures. But I think this makes a lovely make for Halloween. So we have made that 2 makes in 1 hour. I'm very proud. Thank you so much. Any questions are as per usual, put them on. I'll try to find them. Sometimes I cannot see them, but I do appreciate every single one of you that have joined in. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me because, it's always great to have your company. Thank you, Carol, Lorraine, Pam, Rebecca, Hannah, Val. I know that it's so good to have you here and support us. So thank you. Don't forget that Lisa is on Friday at 6:30 p.m. on her usual spot on Facebook and YouTube. And do tune in, because there's some announcements, some things are happening as well. And I believe next week as well, she's going to be on Hobbycraft TV. So more details of that coming up. And make sure that join Lisa on Friday at 6:30. Thank you so much, and see you hopefully, probably next week.